So, since their recent release, Brutal Black Dragons have become extremely popular due to the high potential of money being made from them. And if you've been there at all, you've likely seen people killing them one of two ways. That is either with a crossbow or a blowpipe. Occasionally you'll see people killing them with a ballista, but mainly it is between a crossbow, either Armadal or Rune, or a blowpipe. Now, if you talk to other players down here about this, you will usually hear two different schools of thought. One is that Blowpipe, while more expensive, is worth it due to the faster kills. And the other is that Blowpipe is not worth it and that you should use a crossbow with ruby and diamond bolts due to the much cheaper cost of operating and therefore the much more profitability. I was not sure where I stood on the debate, so I wanted to calculate it out myself. So what I did was I spent 2 hours killing Brutal Black Dragons with Armadal crossbow with ruby and diamond bolts, and then another 2 hours killing with just the blowpipe. And here's my loot from 2 hours with the crossbow. I was able to get 52 kills, or about 26 kills per hour, and using the crossbow cost me 86,000 GP per hour, or 172k in 2 hours in cost of bolts. I should note that I wore basically what can be called max gear for a pure. The only thing I did not have was ranger boots. Instead, I wore holy sandals. I do not have the cash on hand for rangers, so I do not know how these numbers will be different if you're, say, someone with void. I would imagine that that would skew towards favoring the blowpipe, since the void does provide the extra accuracy, and that is the weakness of a blowpipe, is just lower accuracy compared to the Armadal crossbow. I could be wrong on that though. That's just one of the problems associated with having a one defense main, is that you don't get to test out things like void ever. So I finished up 2 hours of killing Brutal Black Dragons with the blowpipe, and I was able to get slightly more kills than I did with the Armadal crossbow. I had 60 kills in 2 hours, or 30 kills per hour. So I was getting 4 more kills per hour with the blowpipe than with the Armadal crossbow. However, using the blowpipe cost 290,000 GP per hour in scales and darts. I spent 580k worth of cash on Zulrah scales and mithril darts. So that's a 290k per hour operating cost for the blowpipe versus 90k for the Armadal crossbow. So that's a 200,000 coin difference per hour. So basically with the blowpipe, I paid 200k extra per hour for 4 extra kills, which cost me 50k per kill. And when looking at my drops, I ended up making about 30k per kill. So while it is very close, for me, it was not worth it to use the blowpipe over the Armadal crossbow. However, you can justify it if you are looking for higher volume of kills, seeking out one of the high-end drops or things like totem pieces or clue scrolls. It would be worth it to use the blowpipe to get the extra kills. What I actually started doing later is bringing both the Armadal crossbow with ruby bolts and the blowpipe, and I found that by killing the dragon halfway with the ruby bolts while you're taking advantage of the bolt spec and then taking over the blowpipe halfway, you can cut your blowpipe operating costs in half, and instead of 290k per hour, you're spending more like 150k an hour. This to me seems like the most efficient way to kill these dragons. However, I have not seen anybody else using the same method, so I really think it's worth a try though. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you next time.